So this video is the third, fourth, and fifth day, and it's going to involve framing. I put the windows in first just to make sure that my holes are right and to make sure that I like where the windows are, but they're just held in with 1 or 2 screws. And then I put the roof on and start putting on the siding. So this is moving quick. Now, I don't know if the camera, yeah, look at that. That's what my dog walk this morning has in it. Yeah. First part of making this corner for this wall is I have to notch out a spot for this 2x4. So I got one more board to put in on this 16-inch, and then I'll put the end cap on, and that's a wall. So the reason why there's 36 inches right here is because there's going to be a big window. And then 18 inches there, 16 inches here. That's just the way the math works out on 8 feet. This is how you build a wall with one person. Typically, when I'm building, like when I did Habitat for Humanity, I'd be on one side, another guy would be on the other side, and we'd be hammering the nails in. We do tack, tack to start the nail, tack, tack, hammer, 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 tack, tack, hammer, 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 which meant you got your nail in 5 hits, and if you got your nail in 4 hits, you'd still hit the 5th hit because you're matching the beat of the hammer on both sides of the wall. So when I'm swinging, he's swinging, and it's a rhythm. And then what's crazy about that is you knock out walls so fast once you get going. The other thing you would do if you're doing 2 people is you'd go through and you'd mark where the studs go all the way along on all the big boards. And then you wouldn't be doing any measuring. You just have 2 guys throwing 2x4s in and going. And it's real fast. But this is the way you do it with one dude. So the reason why some screws have threads all the way up and some only have it halfway is the ones that have it halfway up are made to pull 2 boards together. So when I screw through this board, the head on the screw is going to hold onto this board, and the teeth are going to grab onto that one, and they're going to pull the 2 together. This screw does not do that. It will only tighten something that's already put together. The other trick is, if you want to not pre-drill and not split your wood, you go in pretty far but not tight, and then you back out, and that lets the fiber in the wood reset itself so it's more elastic the second time you go in. It's a trick I learned, so you can avoid pre-drilling. Saves a lot of time. See, even on a really close end on a small piece of wood, I was able to not get any splits just by backing it up. So once you lean that wall up and you screw it to the floor and you start working your way around, it actually starts to go up pretty quick, especially when you're doing 8-foot walls. But if you're doing 4-foot or 8-foot walls, they go up pretty quick. And this is all called rough framing. From my first houseboat, that the bottom boards have to be pressure treated. Otherwise, you end up ripping them up and replacing them anytime there's water sitting in a corner or something like that. So, thinnest pressure treated board they sell is 2x4. I'm not going to use 2x4s for the walls because look how much heavier that would be. So things like this happen where you have to notch out boards. I'm going to have to notch this off to put the door in here too. I got the windows in, I got the framing done. Mostly, I got to do some roof rafters. I was waiting to see where everything goes. So I decided on doing a double bank of windows in the front, so pretty much it's all window in front. The door is going to be all window too. So, and then 2 windows on each side. I have a couple windows for the back and 1 window to put in right next to the bed, like whatever height I figure out the bed is going to be at. I was going to do the roofing, but it started to lean because there's no bracing on the back, so I'm not going to put any more weight up there until I do the walls. Day 4. So this morning's day 5. I'm going through and adding the little supports in between all the windows. And essentially you need to have a board wherever a piece of plywood's going to land on a crack. So every 4 feet you need to have a board. And because my windows are in the middle of that, I have to do them that way. So essentially we're going to be cutting or scribing out the plywood. What you do is you take the window off, which there's only 2 screws holding it on, and put the plywood up, and then you go on the inside and you mark the window line, pull the plywood down, cut it with the saw, put the plywood back up, then put the window on. This time when you put the window on, you do it with sealant all the way around, and you make sure that all the gaps are even on the bottom and the top once you put them back on. And then when I'm on the water, I'm going to come back around and do the trim. I think the boat's going to be shiny white and the trim is going to be the same color as the deck. And the fencing will be the same color as the deck. So, I mean, that's my thought. I might go with white and... this is be my thought. That's what I think I'll have. White and blue, maybe? White and dark blue? We'll see.
AM, Lord, don't it come way too soon? You think by now it'd be something you'd be used to. So put on your coffee and turn on the news. It's gonna be hot as hell, but at least the skies are blue. You're clocking in wore out, but you do what you gotta do. I know you're tired, I know you're hurting, I know you broke down to the bone. But your bills are paid and there's smiling faces waiting on you at home. And it ain't always easy, it ain't ever like you planned, oh, but man, ain't it working man? Now you're going home while the sun's going down. You're still miles away, you can already hear the sound of a little voice saying, Daddy, come out and play. So you're still a couple more minutes from a damn good day. You're clocking in wore out, wouldn't want it any other way.
I think I'm going to start making a bloopers reel, but so I don't know if this is going to be at the end or what, but here, look how bulged out right there is. It's a straight wall along the roof, and then there's a bulge right in that window. And basically one of the 2x4s that are the rafters is like a 1/4 inch too long, and I jammed it in there when I should have nicked it off. So I'm going to have to pull that, cut it, and fix it. Mistake number 2, I noticed on 3 of the boards are already cut. When I run the line down here, the board is touching these pieces of plywood and then it's on the truck, so it's not flat. And if you look, there's this tiny little gap in here. Let me zoom in for you. Tiny little gap, right? You push it up and it's gone. Now when I did the line, what that little gap did was made a little bit of a bow in the middle of the board. So when you go to the boat over here, on the bottom of each board looking down, which doesn't matter, it's going to be covered by trim, a little bit of bow. A little bit of a bow. Look at that, in the same spot. Boom, boom. So even if you do follow the line, if the line's not good, you're supposed to cut it at 6'3", not 6 foot. I wonder if I have any glue, tape, like a rewind button, a backup button. I don't know. It's worse than that. I cut 3 more like that. Ah! Huh. Okay. Well, I have one in my truck for spare, in case I made a mistake like this one time, but I don't have 4 spares. What to do? Boss man, how much you pay for the new guy? He's not worth it, man. No, no good. Are you mad? Are you mad? I'm sorry. No. So it's getting down to about 22 tonight, and it's been below freezing a lot. I'm glad that I have a heater. Making dinner, just doing some editing. I want to say thanks for watching, thanks for following along. Subscribe, like, share with a friend. Helps me out with the YouTube gods. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thanks again. See you in a couple of days, a few more days, and we'll do some updates on the siding, railings, and we'll do some touch-up work, like putting in the second, some of the trim to fill in some of the holes between the gaps, and button down everything so we can actually maybe get it on the water. Try it out. And then the doors. I usually put it on the water first, just to see how everything's going to work before I put the doors on. It's like a safety thing for me. Yeah, but we'll see. Till next time.